Hey boys and girls, welcome back to another video. It is your boy Vox, and today I wanted to bring to you guys a really quick deck profile for the upcoming Link event, and it is going to be for the Live Twins or the Evil Twins. This deck, in my opinion, will be the best, if not one of the best and the most dominant Link decks for the Link event. And obviously, before we go straight to the deck profile, if you like content like this, you know what to do: like, subscribe, etc, etc. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Straight to the deck profile now with the hand traps. First, we're playing 1 DD Crow, triple effect Veiler, triple Drone Lockbird with triple Maxi, triple Ash, 1 Artifact Lancia with the 1 Nibiru, and then obviously 1 Crossout with the 2 Called by the Grave, and lastly triple Infinite Permanence. You're going to ask, why the fuck do we play so many hand traps, Vox? In this situation, and I want to preface this by saying this is basically the base of the deck, in which you will see that the staples are most likely the same for every single Live Twin or Evil Twin deck, but for the hand traps, you will want to adapt depending on what you face on the ladder. For example, I'm making this video 2 days before the event, right? So obviously, I will not be 100% sure about the most dominant decks that will be played in the League event, meaning that there could be some hand traps that you could potentially remove, like DD Crow for example, or even Artifact Lancia. But for now, we add them into the deck, so we are basically prepared for whatever we might face. Lancia, for example, is incredible because you can always protect yourself from getting called by the Grave, for example, and shit like that. But in situations in which DD Crow is not as reliable, because obviously in the Link event, we don't have the branded decks, etc. Obviously, it might not be as strong, but in my opinion, I believe that Drone Lockbird in this situation for this event will be exceptionally powerful. Obviously, if you also have more copies of Nibiru, play that. I do not, and I can't be bothered crafting the other two. So obviously, if you have that, you can do that. So that was for the hand traps. For the main monster lineup, we're playing triple Live Twin Kissekil with triple Live Twin Lila, and then 1 copy of Lila Treat and the 2 copies of Kissekil Frost. If you're not aware of how the Live Twin deck basically works, the engine works, is basically that what Live Twin does, each time an opponent monster declares an attack, you get 500 life points. That's basically a passive effect. We don't really care about that much. If this card is normal special summoned and you control another monster, you can special summon 1 Lila monster from your hand or deck. Basically, Kissekil special summons Lila, and then Lila can special summon Kissekil if the other one is basically missing. Lila's first effect, passive effect, is basically the same. You must pay 500 life points to declare an attack. Your opponent must pay, sorry. And as I've said, if this card is normal special summoned and you control other monsters, you can special summon on Kissekil. So the blue special summons the red, and the red special summons the blue, if you can't remember the names, etc. Then we have the 2 Lila Treats. If you control a Kissekil monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon her once per turn this way. When either player takes damage from a battle involving an Evil Twin monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, it loses attack equal to that battle damage. Basically, that's why you only play her once, in case you need an extra extender. But then for the 2 copies of the Kissekil Frost, if you control Lila monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, as per usual. And then her second effect is, if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand by a card effect, while you control an Evil Twin monster, which will be your Link monsters basically, you can banish this card from your graveyard and you can draw 1 card, which is quite incredible. That's why we play 2 copies of her. She's not as necessary for the combo, but obviously she will help us, and obviously the draw is quite incredible because we play a lot of hand traps. And then obviously we want to add 1 Gamma Seal, the Sea Turtle Kaiju, because we will have Add Ignister being played in the League event, so you want to have an out for the arrival, even though I already have an out in the extra deck in case you're not aware, but I will tell you in a bit. Then we're playing 1 copy of the Evil Twins Kissekil and Lila. Cannot be normal summon set, must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by tributing 2 Link monsters. If this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect. If your opponent controls 3 or more cards, they must send cards to the graveyard so they control 2 cards. Basically, an evenly matched, but it just sends to the graveyard instead of banishing for the Evil Twin archetype. And you can only use this effect once per turn. While you have a Kissekil monster in your graveyard and you have a Lila monster in your graveyard, this card gains 2200 attack and defense. She's basically something that you want to send to the graveyard every time. Most of the time she will not come up, but she's obviously useful to have in case you need her. And that was it basically for the monster lineup and the hand traps. Then for the spells, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, because everybody's going to be playing impermanences, Called by the Graves, Crossout, etc. So it's nice to remove that first before you go into your combos. Then we're playing Triple Secret Password, which is basically your searcher for your Life Twin or Evil Twin spell or traps from your deck. And if you control a Key Skill monster and a Lila monster, you can also add an Evil Twin monster from your deck to your hand instead. So basically, this is your spell and trap searcher, but you could also potentially search your Evil Twin Key Skill Lila if you need that. But most of the times, you will be able to be searching your Life Twin Sunny Snitch, which is 3 copies of, and it's a continuous spell. When this card is activated, you can add a Life Twin monster from your deck to your hand. While you control an Evil Twin monster, each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you gain 200 life points, and if you do, you inflict 200 damage to your opponent. Basically, this will be always active when you have your links on the field, so you will be gaining life points every time your opponent normal special summons, and your opponent will be losing 200 life points. Then, as I've said, 2 Call by the Grave with 1 crossout, and then the 1 Life Twin home. You could potentially play 2, but I feel like 1 is more than enough. What it does, discard 1 card, special summon 1 Key Skill monster or Lila monster from your deck. Also for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you can special summon monsters from the extra deck, except Evil Twin monsters. So keep that in mind. This is basically the emergency teleport for the archetype, for Life Twins basically, but it will lock you to only using Evil Twin monsters. So because, as you can see, the extra deck, we have more options in case you might need them to the extra deck. Keep this in mind that this will lock you. That was it for the main deck, and as I've said in the start of the video, this is basically the basis of the deck. For hand traps, you will be able and you want to adapt depending on what you will face in 2 days when the link event starts, but this is basically the general framework that I wanted to give you for the deck, so you can actually go ahead, if you have it already, start building it and basically add the hand traps, have the core ready, and when the event starts, boom, you go big dick. So now let's go straight into the Exa deck. For the Exa deck, we're playing triple copies of Key Skill and the 2 copies of Evil Twin Lila. What Key Skill does, it requires 2 monsters, including a Key Skill monster, so basically the one blue and the one red, as I've said. If this card is special summoned and you control a Lila monster, you can draw 1 card. During the main phase, if you do not control a Lila monster, quick effect, you can special summon a Lila monster from your graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the Exa deck for the rest of this turn, except Fiend monsters. So basically, she will be drawing you a card if you control a Lila monster, and obviously she will be able to special summon the. If you don't control Lila, you will be able to special summon Lila from the graveyard, so you can go into the blue one, which is the Lila. What Lila does, same case, 2 monsters, including a Lila monster this time. If this card is special summon and you control a Key Skill monster, so the red one, you can target 1 card to the field and you destroy it. During the main phase, if you do not control a Key Skill monster, again, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Key Skill monster from your graveyard. Also, you will basically be locked into only special summoning Fiend monsters. So the idea of the deck, in case you still do not understand, but I think you do, is that the deck basically, if you have the red one, you special summon the blue. If you have the blue one, you special summon the red. This is basically it. Then we're also playing 1 dark, the Dark Charmer Gloomy. He's incredible because a lot of players will be playing dark monsters. It's an easy thing that you can basically get out. Obviously the search can help if he gets destroyed, but most of the times you will use him to basically special summon a dark off of your opponent's graveyard, and then you can link climb it to something else. The spot that we can basically change in the deck, but I feel like this is pretty solid, is Ningirsu, the War Chalice Warrior. Most of the people, if not everyone, will have this. I'm pretty sure because you get it from the start of the game when you're playing the solo modes. What it does, and it requires, 2 link monsters. If this card is link summoned, draw cards equal to the number of War Chalice monsters to this card points to. We don't have any War Chalice monsters, so we lose that. But basically, once per turn, his major effect, his most important one, once per turn, you can set 1 card from each player's field to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a War Chalice monster from your hand. We don't care about that, but what we care about is that it sends from each player's field to the graveyard. You can basically choose and send 1 card from your field, and then you can send 1 card off of your opponent's field to their graveyard. In case you need to remove something that you cannot otherwise, that can't be targeted, etc., you can use Ningirsu to remove that target instead. Then obviously with 1 Nightmare Unicorn, in case you need that, but most of the times you won't go into it, let's be real. But as I've said, sometimes you might need to. Then the other out for the Arrival, the Adignister, the boss monster, is Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. He requires 2 monster special summons from the extra deck to be made, so we don't care because we'll always have the one of Evil Twin Key Skill and the Lila that we can basically go into every single time. And you will go with these 2 to go into your Avermax. And what he does, while this card is link summoned, Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attack except this one. Once per battle, during damage calculation, if this card battles a special summoned monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's attack during that damage calculation only. If this link summoned card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's cards, you can shuffle one card on the field into the deck. Not only it protects your monsters, you will be able to with this to kill the arrival, but it also has the recursion in which if it gets destroyed, you can basically shuffle one card on the field, from the field, into the deck. So basically, if you have another problematic card on your opponent's field, in case he gets destroyed with whatever else, maybe a kaiju or whatever, shuffle one card from the field into the deck, either for you to recur something or for your opponent to remove a potential problem for you, which is quite incredible. We're also playing one Unchained Abomination. Unchained Abomination fits incredibly into this deck because it is a fiend, so the fiend lock from the Evil Twin, Alila and Kisikil doesn't matter to you because, as I've said, it is a fiend, so it doesn't matter. He requires 2 monsters, including a link monster, pretty easy. If a card on the field is destroyed by card effect, except Unchained Abomination, of course, target one card on the field, destroyed. When another monster is destroyed by battle, you can target one card on the field, destroyed. During the end phase, you can target one card on the field, destroyed. You get the idea. He targets to destroy every single time anything happens, basically. You destroy a card by card effect, target one card, destroyed. Something dies by battle, target a card, destroyed. End phase, target a card, destroyed. Pretty solid. It is not as necessary, but I believe that it is one of the most potential targets that you will be constantly going to your extra deck, other from the standard targets. He's not basically the spot that you would want to remove, but obviously if you don't have him, the deck can still function and work most of the times. Then one access code in case you need the removal for the back row for something else, but most of the times, let's be real, for the main link 4 that you will be going 99% of the times is your Evil Twin Trouble Sunny, which you can play 2 copies of, but as you can see I play 3 copies of in case you need that. She requires 2 monsters including an Evil Twin monster, obviously. And then her effect, quick effect, tribute this card, special summon up to 1 Kisikil monster, 1 Lila monster from your graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, and you can send 1 Evil Twin monster from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard. And then you can send 1 card from the field to the graveyard. An incredible effect. Not only you will be able to attack with her, for example, on the battle phase, you use her quick effect on the battle phase to special summon your Kisikil and Lila, and depending on which one you special summon first, you'll have their effects. For example, if you special summon Lila first and then you go for the Kisikil, Kisikil will be able to draw you one. If you special summon Kisikil first and then you go for the Lila second, Lila will be able to destroy a card or from the field, and basically you can attack with them again. You also will be sending your Kisikil and Lila to the graveyard in case you would want to mod that for the follow-up, in case you need that. Most of the times, let's be real, it won't be as necessary, but it is always nice to have. And last but not least, for the link 5s, I guess, as I've said, because it's a spot that you can basically play around with, for the extra deck, 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, in case you need another removal for something that they might have into the field, and you cannot get it out. Basically, that was it for the deck profile, guys. As I've said, and you can see again from the extra deck, you can rewind the video and you can see the choices that we have. Obviously, you can go around and see what you have in your collection that you could potentially add that could be strong into this deck, that could fit into this deck. But as I've said, in my opinion, I believe that this specific variation of Link of the Live Twins for the Link event will be incredibly powerful. And I genuinely believe this. This deck is incredible because you can literally play with 1 card. You can have 5 cards in your hand, 1 being the starter, and then the other 4 could be interruptions, whether that is hand traps, kaijus, etc. And you will be able to still play, which is incredible. But again, as I've said, this video is being made 2 days before the event, so that is basically what I believe will be the best. Obviously, when you see this video and the event is out, you can first play the event and see which hand traps are not as good as they seem to be. For example, as I've said, Diddy Grow might not be as good, and then you can remove it, play something else, etc, etc. You get the point. Either way, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will be seeing you to the next one.